Okay, so I'm here today with Jessica and Isaiah. How are you guys doing?
All right.
We're okay.
Good, good. How old are you guys?
I'm 33.
I'm 32.
Okay. And what's your current situation right now? Are you guys homeless?
Yes.
I am homeless, but I'm in recovery at the moment.
Are you? So you've been clean right now off of any substances?
Heroin and fentanyl is my drug of choice.
Yeah.
I've been clean for 45 days.
Okay. May I ask how long you've been doing them substances?
I got my first shot of heroin in my neck at 7 from my mother.
Oh my. How did that come about?
It was just something mom did.
Your parents did it?
My mother,
Yeah. You had both mom and dad?
yes.
Yeah. How was your childhood?
Well, childhood, dad was in and out of my life. He never really taught me exactly what I needed to know to become a man, so I had to learn from the streets. And originally, I'm from Los Angeles, California,
What part of LA?
South Central.
I grew up in the city of Southgate, man.
For real?
Yeah.
Hey,
Right there on Firestone.
I stayed right off of Imperial and Western.
Yeah, I know where that's at. I know exactly where that's at. That's over by the 105.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, at my stepmom's funeral, he talked to my mom, who talked me into moving out here with my fiance because I was engaged at the time. And it was just a ploy for him to try to control my life. When he got into a dispute, when he tried to control my relationship, and my fiance was a woman who could speak her mind. It's 50-50 relationship. She's a grown woman. She can speak her mind if she wants. He didn't welcome her back at the house, so he kicked her out. And when I told him I wouldn't leave her on the street, he told me, "Thank you for showing me how much of my son you really are," and he kicked me out for my 27th birthday, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, brought me out here September of 2015, kicked me out November 26th of 2015.
Wow.
And been on the streets ever since then.
That's pretty rough. And yourself, you're originally from out here?
No,
No, where are you from?
I am from California.
California as
I'm
well?
in Florida, yes.
Florida?
I've been in Florida and California.
Oh, okay. That's where you've lived previously?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you have any substance abuse or anything like that?
Yes, a lot of people don't know, and I don't mostly say it, but I am a recovering meth addict.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of,
You kind of have to do it when you're out here on the streets because you have to be alert and awake. It's not an option.
yeah,
Streets are dangerous, huh?
yeah,
Yes.
they are. And I come to find out that sometimes the streets aren't dangerous. Sometimes your street family is better than your own family. Because I remember one time I did ask my dad if he could give me like $20 just to get something to eat. That's it. He had an up and coming business, and I knew for a fact he got a $450 check. But I got the whole speech about how he's the only one paying the bills. But the fiance that I had at the time was the first girlfriend I've ever introduced him to. The first and only one. The woman's son walks up to him and asks him if he can borrow some money. And he gives this dude damn near $175, but you couldn't give your own son 20?
Wow.
And then moves a year and a half later without telling me, so I don't know if my dad is alive or not. I don't know where he is.
He left Colorado?
I don't think he left Colorado. I believe he's still out here, but I have no whereabouts of him.
Wow.
I stayed at Comidas. He stayed on 13th and Worcester. Said he couldn't find me. My dad may have been a lot of things: a club owner, a truck driver, a security guard, a pool hall champ. But he damn sure wasn't no detective because he couldn't even detect my ass 15 minutes away. And people out here have shown me more compassion, more love, more caring than my own blood has. I just hate the fact that some people have to look at us like we're a disease. You see a homeless person and you automatically want to run or you want to covet your bag. We're not all thieves, criminals, and drug addicts. Some of us are here because of a reason.
And a lot of us have a lot to offer.
Everybody's got a
Positive.
story, man. Everybody's unique. Everybody's different. That's why I'm out here gathering people's stories, man. That's why I'm out here. Have you held any previous jobs, man, in the past?
Yeah, actually, me and my sister used to work together at Trojan Labor. And right now, I'm just odds and end jobs, handyman jobs, landscaping, general labor, anything that I could take. Anything to help me survive, because the thought of never knowing when you're going to have your next shower, when you're going to have your next meal, when you're going to be able to afford your necessities, like some of us is alcohol, some of us is cigarettes.
It's sometimes, you can't even leave your tent or where you set up because you don't know if it's safe. You come back and there's nothing, It's very, but we are not all bad people. We just have been through some certain stuff that is a little bit harder to get on track. Me and Isaiah have lost 2 brothers on August 22nd and on September 2nd.
Sorry to hear that.
We also, my mom last September, and I've lost 2 children and a husband in the past year. And sometimes that is hard to get back on your feet after. You don't just jump back into it,
One of the things is, like, I appreciate this place for everything that is done, but it's hard for me to come up here.
The place right behind me.
Yes.
What do they do there? Do they offer a place for you to lay your head, or?
They can refer you to Comitis, which is the overnight shelter. This is the day resource center. They do help us with resources, legal documentation, mental health if we need it. They do have nurses that come and if you want to get a checkup or pretty much.
We also have a Suboxone and alcohol program here where they try to give you medicine to get off drugs. We have a locker system, showers, a computer lab, somewhere to chill during the day.
Really?
It's very strict though, and it's not very comfortable for many of us because this is where we started, this is where we used, and it's hard to come back here. Especially for my brother, he has his sister here, so he has to come back to check on me, but it brings him back to where he used to be, which is very hard.
And beginning of this year, first year that I'll have to be able to do it without. There's a friend of mine who we started the Pioneer Plus program. We built that garden together. His name was Donald, and he
was
passed
a
at the
great
beginning of
guy.
this year.
Sorry to hear that.
It becomes hard to come back to this place because every time I look at it, every time I see that garden, I have to see him. And the first and only year that I have to celebrate the holidays without him. He may have been what people call a belligerent drunk, but that wasn't Donald.
But he was a sweetheart,
How old was he, man?
He was in, I believe, his late 40s or maybe early 50s.
Really? He was still young, man.
Yes. And he was trying to get sober. He finally made his way on the way to the alcohol store,
Yeah.
and he died on the way there.
Oh, nice.
And he was like the life of here, He
could
helped
take-
my brother through a lot. He protected me more than anything.
He could take the cloudiest day and make it one of the best days ever. Just by being him. That when it comes back to people treat homeless like
We have a disease.
an infection that they have to get rid of. They passed the no camping law. Okay, I can understand that. Some people do leave their areas trashy. Some people do leave a mess. But for those of us who clean up, what are we supposed to do? You don't have anywhere to put us. You don't have anywhere for us to go. You give us the option of coming to Comitis, but the option is we only get to stay there for 3 nights. So after 3 nights, what happens? Well, I found out that they came up with the all-in solution. I was told by an Aurora police officer, Aurora sergeant, anybody caught camping by the beginning of next year will be deemed as trespassing and will be arrested on site.
Wow, they passed that, huh?
Yes.
Which leaves you to have nothing but selling drugs or prostitution to be able to get in a place to keep your family safe. And then how does it feel to go to your family and say, Bubby, this is what I have to do for this reason? It's nearly impossible to stay clean or
Have you
get on
guys
the
looked
right
into
track.
The Samaritan House or the Salvation Army over on 48th in Colorado?
The Salvation Army, they're doing the Pallet House program, which I am currently trying to gain access to, but at the same time, the program with it is you get up to a week. After that week, depending on how well you meet with your case manager, they can extend it up to 4 weeks. But the problem is, after that 4 weeks, no matter how far you've progressed, whether you need to get your documents, like I need to get my birth certificate, ID, and social, because it all got stolen when I was staying at the shelter. No matter how far I progress, after that 4 weeks is up, I have to leave that program.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And in a case for me, I had a heart attack and a stroke, and I lost most of my memory. And they considered it disabled. So they had me sign a power of attorney and advance directive. And I put my brother on it. So if anything happens to me, they have to talk to my brother before they can pull any plugs. Well, the day after I signed it, they said, oh, we're not allowed to have disabled or handicapped people. We're not handicap accessible, which made me have to come all the way back to this town. And within the first night, I had relapsed, $1,300 on blues in 3 nights. Then I put myself in recovery. But what I'm saying is they were supposed to be there to help us. Instead, they hindered us, made up something, and then you get kicked out, and you just have to start right all back over again.
It's hard, huh?
Yeah, and that was with the gathering place, you know, it's very, what is it?
I always ask people that I interview, what if any of the viewers are like 20 and younger, what would you tell them if they're watching this interview about the streets and your struggles and stuff?
It's not fun. It used to be fun, but it's no longer becomes fun. It has to become a lifestyle, a survival tip. And you cannot, it's not, if I would have known then what I know now, I wouldn't have did it. You know, I have Asperger's and autism as well, so it's kind of hard for me, like harder than the next person, but I just follow my brother. What he tells me, that's what I do. If you don't have nobody and you're just going out there, it's very, very hard. I lost my mom. She was in Florida. She had a shot of ketamine, rat poison, meth, and heroin, and they beat her with a meat cleaver from her head to her waist. She was unidentifiable besides her big toes because she had a hip and a knee replacement 3 weeks prior. But it became a lifestyle. She no longer was able to, and after you're out here for a while, when you go inside, you really don't know how to act or how to adapt because your comfort out here.
One more question, and I'll end the video for you guys. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, you know what, honestly, I can't answer that question because trying to predict the future, it's too much of a letdown if it doesn't come to where you want it to be. Like I can say 5 years from now, I see my book published, I see myself living in a nice house, and I see myself at peace. But 5 years from now, because of the same situation, I could be stuck right where I'm at. Me, I'm the type of person, I literally gave a guy the shirt off my back.
And he's
And
a
they-
very hard worker. I used to run my office, and my brother came to work for me, and he was one of the hardest workers I had in my office, you know?
The next
So that's
morning,
not a problem, is they don't give him a